other side of this, the problem and the challenge with empathic people and people pleasers is that there's a lack of container. There's a lack of separation. And because there's a lack of separation, they then feel so connected to everybody. They tune themselves to everyone's vibration. They can pick up on their vibe, but then they've lost the sense of self of who am I. When people say I'm feeling someone else's negative energy, it means I'm not so much in my own container that I can just think of them and feel their energy. If you had a container around you, you'd be like, oh, that's their energy, not mine. I don't feel it as much. It's a loss of identity when we feel like we're sucked into being an empath or we're sucked into being a people pleaser. So the cure is doing a meditation practice that I'm going to share with you. But really what it is, and there's actually something to be learned as well from narcissists. I know this sounds crazy to a lot of people, and I've attracted many narcissists into my life since you don't have to see my ex-stepmom anymore. That pattern kept coming up, and here's the reason being. Look at it on this scale. First off, I think we all have somewhat narcissistic traits. And empaths and people pleasers and narcissists actually have the same core wound. They don't feel like they're enough. And they don't have a strong sense of self. Well, the narcissist has an unhealthy amount of that to where what they'll do is they'll take someone else's attention. They'll take something from someone else in order to feel that sense of self. But they do have a strong frame. And because of that, they tend to attract empathic people or people pleasers because their strong frame feels safe. And because it feels safe and familiar to the trauma bonding circuit, then you gravitate to narcissism. The narcissism is saying, me, give me or I will take. Now, the empath is saying, you, I will give you and you will give me. So the same core wound is there. It's just that the way they go about getting their needs met is different. The narcissist will take it. The empathic person will give something in exchange energetically. It's a transaction. But both have the same core wounds. They don't feel worthy, whole, and complete. They don't feel that strong sense of self. The narcissists just have an unhealthy way of asserting it. Now, what is the cure to really both of these? It is actually feeling that strong sense of self in a healthy way. Now, for the empath, what this means literally focusing on getting more in your body. If you're an empath or a people pleaser, then your energy is mainly up here, and you're trying to gain validation. It's almost like, I used to work a sales commission job. I know I talk about it in a lot of videos. I would greet hundreds of people a week, wearing a suit, standing around. Hello, how are you? Hello, how you doing? Guess what I would from greeting thousands of people, I could tell an energy difference between if I was like, hey, how are you? You want to give me validation back and say something nice to me and greet me back and acknowledge me and don't reject me? How are you? The energy's in the head. Can you feel that the energy's in the head right now? Even I would see this thing come up where a girl that I liked would text me and I'd be like, oh, now I can respond. Now I'm back in my head. I'm back in my trauma mommy wound. Oh, yay. You see what I mean? There's a difference there. Even though the ex-stepmom wasn't my real mom, by the way, but we were brainwashed into not being around our real mom, so that would be considered the control dynamic there. But it would bring me up into the head. So here's the cure. If I'm like, hey, how are you? You don't want to say hi back to me. Why? Because you can feel that neediness from me. I want something from you. Hello?